This is the brand new Nemeziz, and I think it's amazing. See why? And win a pair. Get ready for what could be the biggest innovation for years. The Nemeziz is the first low-cut laceless boot, but it doesn't end there. It's actually made out of tape. Tape? This right here. It's made to give you the ultimate lockdown so you can change direction on the spot and make sure your opponent won't ever forget your name. Boom. The fit is the first wow experience. It's tight, but also right. The rubber bands will stretch, but only enough to make sure it's not painful and that it still sits tight. And then it'll spend the rest of its energy on locking your foot down, like it's been vacuum packed. It simply just fits. Just slip it on and you're good to go. Unless, of course, you have a wide foot. Nemeziz is slim, so if your foot is the size of the Titanic, don't bother. The best bit is the laceless thing around the ankle. It's probably the most perfect height of a sock collar whatever yet, because while you do feel the material sitting tight down there, it still feels like a very natural extension of the foot. And despite the fact that I've never worn a ballet shoe before, this is what I imagine it feels like. We're talking one of the tightest fitting, most elegant nimble boots ever, with lockdown in the top bracket. It's not, however, the most comfortable thing known to man, which I'll get back to. Size-wise, I went with my usual UK 6, and I haven't looked back. Popping the lid to the engine room, the Nemeziz won't win any awards for comfort as it's incredibly stiff. But for a player like me who loves responsiveness and acceleration, it's right up my alley. It feels sharp and like you're a bit more connected to the ground so you can change direction on the spot. But it's absolutely not for everyone in terms of comfort. On the ball, the Nemeziz has been engineered to make sure you get a one-to-one touch experience with nothing in the way of your creative genius. And it's fun to play with because you feel extremely closely connected to the ball with a touch that's neither too slippery or too smooth. And you don't even want to get me started on this shooting because it feels like as if you're able to shoot harder because it's more or less just bone to ball. In other words, it's just you and the ball with no bullshit, and that gets me absolutely pumped as a player who likes to run with the ball at my feet. But as it always seems to be, everything that's good comes at a price. Because as I mentioned, Nemeziz does have a few things to live with before you get the ultimate tiptoe feeling. The knitted toe box does need a bit of break-in time before it gets soft enough, and the boot can feel a little claustrophobic, uncomfortable and stiff at first, being so tight. Then there's the matter of price, where Nemeziz will set you back €300. And while it is very good and definitely worth the money if you want the best of the best, I feel we're starting to hit the ceiling here. All of that doesn't change the fact that Nemeziz has won me over big time. It's made for a player looking for some very specific things. And if you aren't that player, it's probably not for you. If you are, however, you'll love it to bits, and I'm pretty sure it'll make you feel absolutely unbeatable. Nemeziz basically takes what's good from the pure control and the pure chaos and merges it into one dangerous cocktail. And sure, it will split opinion, but if you want Pogba's swag and Bale's killer instinct, this is the answer. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe, leave me a like if you had a good time, and don't forget to spread the word by sharing the video with your friends. And if you want to win the Nemeziz 17 Plus 360 Agility, tag a friend that sees you as his Nemeziz and give us the juicy details of how you destroyed him.